Morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. It is so delightful to be with you in the here and now, in this moment right now, in the magic, the miraculousness, the power, the majesty of this moment, in the timeless now. When you're entering, you can please share where you're from. Say hello. This is an interactive space to connect and commune together. We've been going live on Instagram for maybe a little over a week. I think a little over a week. And we're live on Facebook Live. And Instagram's picking up and people are getting the word out and they're saying, hey, now I'm starting to understand what time you're on and when you're on, and I'm going to show up live. So yes, 10 a.m. Eastern. That's 10 a.m. New York time. So if you're not in this time zone, you can just go time in New York, right? And you'll find the time. I have to do that stuff all the time because I'm working with people from all different time zones. So Google is really helpful in that way. But I can tell you that it's 7 a.m. the West Coast of California. It's mid-afternoon in Europe. It's the evening in Asia. And we go for about 10 minutes. 8 a.m. in Mexico, says Moni. Thank you, Moni. Yeah, what time is it where you are? Let me know what time it is where you're at. It's a gift. It's a gift to be here and share with you, to share this space with you. And I got something really good for you today. Something that's really transformational. One of the most transformational things you can ever understand and realize when you integrate it and start to understand it clearly and look at it clearly and understand it clearly, perceive it clearly. It makes a profound transformation in your life, right? I'd also love to know a little bit more about you. If you're feeling stuck in your life, if you're feeling disconnected, if you're feeling like there's a place you want to get to, you're not sure how to get to it, you can let me know here. Or if it feels like it's more, something more personal, private, you can share a private message for me. Yeah, just let me know how I can support you. So that's what I'm here for. You know, there's a calling, and respond to that calling. So feel free to share anything that's alive for you, that's moving for you, whether it's here publicly or whether it's a private message. Let's take a deep breath together. And exhale. Another deep breath together. And exhale. And one more deep breath. Exhale. So I'm with my son yesterday, and he has a tennis match. He's on the tennis team. And I asked him how his tennis match did. And he said it went really bad. He lost almost every game. And he said, I would get really close. I get really close to winning the game. And then I would think about, my mind would start getting really active and I would mess up. So I said, what were you thinking about in that moment? And he said, what I was thinking about is don't mess up. Don't mess up. Don't mess up. And I said, well, there's the issue right there. Because you see, the mind doesn't hear the don't part, don't or can't. The mind just always hears whatever your focus is on, whatever your attention is on. So what the mind is hearing is mess up, mess up, mess up. And then you mess up because it's basically you're telling the mind what to do, right? So the classic example is the pink elephants, right? If someone says, don't think about pink elephants. If I say, don't think about pink elephants, then what do you think about? The first thing that comes to your mind is pink elephants, right? Now, the way this is even more amazing is, and this is a phenomenal example. It's like the deepest level, because the internet is like the outer reflection of our collective consciousness. It's the outer reflection of our collective consciousness. So it's like the global brain, right? So you go to Google Images, and you can do it even now if you want to, or you can do it immediately after this. Maybe it's preferable, but you do, I don't want to see cherries, right? So you go to google.com, go to the images, and write, I don't want to see cherries, and see what pops up. What pops up will be lots and lots of images of cherries, right? And you can do this with anything. I don't want to see strawberries. Enter. I don't want to see elephants. Enter. I don't want to see kangaroos. Enter. I don't want to see flowers. Enter. Right? You're going to see flowers, kangaroos, elephants, strawberries, cherries, right? Google doesn't pay attention to I want to or I don't want to. It only pays attention to the word you're using, the image that you're creating, and it will give you more of the image you're creating. So whatever the images you're creating, you're going to get more of that image. Whether you like it or don't like it is completely irrelevant. It's the same thing with the way Facebook works and the way Instagram works. By the way, these are also archived on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast as well. So we're live right now on Facebook, we're live right now on Instagram, and we're archived on YouTube, and we're archived on Apple Podcasts, all of these. So Facebook and Instagram work the same way. It doesn't matter whether you like a post or don't like a post. What only matters is if you're giving your attention. If you comment on the post that I hate this post, this is the worst post I've ever seen in my life, you're going to see more of that person in your feed, right? This is the dumbest thing I ever saw. You're going to see more of that person in your feed. Whatever you get your attention to, whatever you put your attention on, you get more of. And it's amazing when you start to realize the way the mind works. It's so simple, but yet you need to be continually conscious and vigilant. And that's the challenge. Continually conscious and vigilant. And you start to realize, why am I putting my attention on things I don't want? Why am I putting my attention on things I don't like? Why am I putting my attention on people I don't want in my life? Yes, wow. Exactly, Daniel. Wow. It's like major wow. Welcome, Lucia. Thank you for joining us. It's a major wow. Why am I putting attention on things I don't want? So the fundamental thing to understand is, what do you want to create? Put your attention, focus your mind on what you want, not on what you don't want. Focus your mind on what you want to create, not on what you don't want to create. And be conscious and aware and vigilant of that. So if you're playing tennis, right, you don't think, I don't want to mess up. I don't want to mess up. I don't want to mess up. What you think is, and you don't need to focus on the gigantic picture. You want to have a general sense of where you're going, like we talked about the mountain climber earlier this week. But the primary focus is on the intention at hand in the moment, this moment right now. So you're playing tennis. It's not I don't want to mess up. It's I want to put the ball right there. Now I want to put the ball right there. Now I want to put the ball right there. Just moment by moment by moment, right? What do you want? Put your focus and your attention, your mind on what you want. And this is the fundamental key to manifestation. Any questions, comments? Lucia is writing me in Portuguese, I think. So I always appreciate, but I can't always interpret all of it. But I can feel the powerful vibration of it. Thank you, Moni. We'll be back here the same time tomorrow, and we'll take you to the next level. There's so much amazing stuff to get into. And I love that we have this space. There's links on, there's links. Danielle says, do you think you can change something physical? Great question. I will answer that question, and then we'll get off. There's links to delve in deeper on the Facebook Live. If you want to delve in deeper on Instagram Live, just send me a direct message, and I'll tell you ways you can plug in deeper to what I'm doing and what's happening for me. Can you change something physical? Absolutely, 100%. In fact, it would be impossible not to change something physical, because the physical and the mental are one, right? The physical is simply a lower, denser vibration of the mental, right? So when you change your mind, you change your consciousness, you're shifting the material world, for sure. Like, if I think about my body and I think like, oh, I hate my body, I'm so ugly, I'm so stupid, I'm so dumb, I'm the worst person, right? I go like on that, and I continually do that, right? Then I am affecting the physicality of my body. I'll probably make myself weak and sick and ill, and bring in negative energy, right? So forth and so on. If I see beauty in myself, and I see love in myself, and I see the divine essence in myself, I see creative energy flowing through me, then that affects the physicality of my body, right? So absolutely 100%, the mental affects the physical, because they're not even two separate things. They're just one. It's all just one implicate whole. That's the great spiritual realization, that there actually is no separation. There is no actual separation in this world. It's just one infinite unified field of which we are the essence of. Thank you all so much for being here. And we'll see you the same time tomorrow.